Hey, and welcome to History of Christian Thought. My name is Nick Decker. I am your professor this semester. I'm excited about the opportunity to lead the course and excited to get to know many of you through the online format. I wanted to go ahead and give you an introduction video. I won't take too much of your time so we can jump into some lectures. So History of Christian Thought, let me give you a brief description according to the syllabus. It says this course is an incisive introduction to the whole field of philosophy with an in-depth presentation of the Christian perspective. This class will include readings from leading Christian writers and discussions of pivotal concepts throughout Western history in general and Christian history in particular. And so what we're going to do is we're going to walk through church history with a focus on both philosophy and Christian theology, looking at both key philosophers, both who are evangelical and those who are not evangelical, and then also key theologians who have impacted church history and the history of philosophy as well. And so that's kind of a brief description of the class. It's going to be an excellent class to take, not the most glamorous class you'll probably take at Piedmont, but one of the best and one of the most important ones you'll need in order to do ministry throughout your life, whether you're serving in the secular realm or if you're in the local church. It's an important class for you to understand how the history of Christian thought has developed and how philosophy has developed as well. So it is an introduction class as well. So we won't be diving deeply into concepts, but we'll have the chance to kind of skim over important things that you need to know. Before I taught this class, there was a professor by the name of Greg Moore. He served at Piedmont for many years, and a lot of the material, in fact, the majority of the material in this class comes from him. So the majority of the lectures you will be watching are his lectures, and he has been gracious enough to allow us to view those lectures and to work through those things. He has done an excellent job and taught this class for many years, and so we're going to use a lot of his materials. So in the lectures, the majority of the lectures you'll be hearing his voice and be listening to him, but I will be facilitating the class, grading the papers, answering any questions you may have concerning the class and the projects and things like that. So I want to make you aware of that. I also want to give you a background, a quick introduction to myself, so you know who I am, and then I want to get to know you as well throughout the class as well as throughout the discussion boards. So again, my name is Nick Decker. I serve as the Kids and Outreach Pastor at Lebanon Baptist Church in Greensboro, North Carolina, so not far from Piedmont if you're on campus. And I went to Piedmont a couple years ago, did my undergrad there in Christian ministries and focused on pastoral ministries and counseling, and then I got my Master of Divinity from Southeastern Seminary in Wake Forest, North Carolina. My background is in preaching and pastoral ministries, and now I'm pursuing a Master of Theology in preaching there as well. And so I have some background in pastoral ministries, but also have some background in both philosophy and church history as well. So I did some advanced studies and some other things in church history. So I have a passion for that and love the subject and enjoy both the philosophical side of ministry and church history, and also enjoy church history and Baptist history as well. So I'm looking forward to this class. I'm looking forward to all those things. I do want to say a quick word about the approach we're going to take in this class. Throughout the years, and even when I took this class at Piedmont, I had a professor who took an approach to the history of Christian thought. And I know even before him there were approaches. So throughout the years of Piedmont, this class has been taught different ways. For some time it was taught as an apologetics class. I'm not going to take that approach. Mr. Moore didn't take that approach. I think apologetics is important, but I think there's a whole class dedicated to apologetics. at Piedmont. And so if you want more of that, we're not going to be focusing on that. We may mention a few things, especially when we get to the early church fathers as well as the Reformation, but this class is not an apologetics class. We are also not going to focus on modern issues as much as previous classes have. We're going to be talking about things related to the issues of theology and modern issues when we get to the later part of this class, but we're not going to focus on those things. I know in the past it has been, but we're not going to be looking at that. What we're going to do is we're going to start with Greek thought and move through the periods of church history, and we're going to eventually get up to modern issues, but again, that's not going to be the main focus. So, and what we're going to do is start there, move to modern issues, and then we're going to camp out on different subjects and different periods within church history, within philosophy. So, for example, a lot of time is going to be spent on the early church fathers. I think that period is very important, and there's a lot of important things in there when it comes to philosophy and Christian thought and different things related to those two topics. So we're going to spend some time on the early church fathers. We're going to spend some time on the Reformation period as well. A lot of what we're learning today at Piedmont within the Bible department obviously would not be around if it wasn't for the Reformation. And so you and I probably wouldn't be here. We probably wouldn't be serving in the local church if it wasn't for the Reformation and what took place there. And so I believe that period is important, and so we're going to spend some time there, and I'm excited about that. I wish we could spend more time on the Enlightenment period, but we are going to mention a couple things about that. Your textbooks hit that subject pretty hard, and so a lot of that will be addressed in your textbooks and things like that, and we'll talk a little bit about it in a lecture as well, but not as much as I'd like. I'd also like to talk more about the 19th and 20th century liberal theology. We mentioned that in a lecture, and your books talk about it, but just due to time constraints and the class itself, we don't go over that as much as I'd like, but there are different things we'll camp out on and talk about because I believe they're important, and we believe as this institution that's important as well. And so I want to make you aware of those things. Wish we could spend some more time on Baptist history, but we won't be doing that. There's a whole class dedicated to that. We'll mention it. We'll talk about Zwingli, and we'll talk about the Anabaptists and things like that, but not in detail. That will give you some things to even think about considering writing on for your research paper, which we'll go over in a second. So anyway, that's the approach we're going to take. Start with Greek thought, move through the different time periods within church history, eventually get to the current issues that we are facing today, even within the local church and within ministry as a whole in the academic field. So just want to make you aware of that. Let me also make you aware of the course level. There are different course levels. Obviously, I'm assuming most of you are juniors and seniors taking this class, and so this is not a 100 level course. This is a 400 level course, and so with that come several things that I want to make you aware of. I'm going to throw a picture on the screen and leave it there for a second. I want to make you aware of what I'm expecting you to do as a student at Piedmont and as a student in this class. There are several things you need to know. You'll notice there under the typical work level for a 400 level course, there will be exams. I'm also asking you to interact, have an interaction with scholarship, and then also communicate within your research projects on a significant academic level. So the exams will be more difficult than your 100 level courses. I do provide a exam study guide, but I do want you to know that you will have to put some time into the study of that. I believe that you learn the best from those professors who have the hardest exams, and so the exams will be difficult, but we're expecting that because I'm assuming you're a 400 level student, and so you're going to be able to do well on those exams, I hope, and study hard Also want you to know that you'll do a significant amount of research for your research paper. So again, I'm assuming you're juniors and seniors, so I don't want to see grammatical mistakes. I don't want to see formatting mistakes. I want to make sure that you know how to do MLA or Turabian formatting. I would accept both for the research paper. I prefer a Turabian style formatting for your paper, but I'll accept both. So I hope you will know how to do that, or by the time you turn in your paper, you learn how to do that and you do it well. So I'm expecting that you know that by the time you get to this course. And then also there's going to be a significant amount of reading. You'll get both textbooks. I pray that you will work through them. Number one is your Historical Theology and Introduction by Alistair McGrath. I like this textbook, so I hope you'll purchase that and do the readings. We'll have different things associated with the readings as far as discussion boards go and the exams go. So you're going to want to purchase that book. And then also the Christian Theology Reader. It's kind of a counterpart to the Historical Theology textbook by McGrath. So you want to get both of those, and then also you want to get the little book by Francis Schaeffer called Escape from Reason. You're going to do a project on that we'll go over that in a second when we look at the coursework for this class. There are also a couple assumptions that I'm making regarding the level of this course being a 400 level course. I'm assuming you are going to be able to research and write on an advanced college level, and then I'm also assuming that you have a good grasp on theological concepts. So by the time you reach a junior or senior level course, I'm assuming you've already taken Bible Doctrine 1 and 2 or Christian Theology. You've taken different courses, Christian Theology and things like that, so you'll know the concepts that I'm using. I'm going to be using terms, and Mr. Moore is going to be using terms throughout the course that you would understand if you took these courses. And I'm not saying that if you didn't take these, you're going to fail, but it may be a little more difficult for you. And I can suggest some books for you if you haven't taken these courses that you can kind of work through as you take this course that will help you with the terminology and things like that. So there'll be theological concepts that I hope you'll understand being a 400 level course and the different things there. If you have questions throughout the semester on terms or different things we discuss, feel free to reach out. Being an online course, I can't see you face to face on a regular basis, but I'm here by email or by a Skype interview, FaceTime, things like that. I can help you answer any questions you may have concerning the different terms, different things that you are working with in the class. I also want to be a help to you as we go through the research project. So feel free to start working on that as we begin the course. Be thinking about what you want to work through. We'll walk through what that looks like under the course requirements and assignments in a second, but I'll be able to help you and look at different things. So as you finish different sections of your paper, feel free to email me if you have questions about research or books or any kind of help I can be to you. I'd like to do that. So feel free to email me. My email's in the syllabus. You can find that syllabus on Blackboard as well. So make sure you work through that. Make sure that you work hard in this class and know that there'll be different things that will require a lot of you to work hard. And we want to see that as we work through this course. Let me go over the course requirements with you, and then we're going to jump into an introduction lecture by Mr. Moore regarding certain terms that we need to understand as we begin our journey through the history of Christian thought. But I do want to walk through just for a second the course requirements so that you understand exactly what you need to do, and if you have questions about that, feel free to email me. I expect all of your assignments to be turned in each week by the Saturday of each week by 11:59 p.m. So by 11:59 p.m. On the Saturday of each week, I expect all your projects to be done and turned in. I don't accept late work regardless, unless you are dying. I don't expect any late work from you. I expect you to be working hard, and all those projects should be turned in again by 11:59 on the Saturday of each week. If you have questions about that, let me know. I know the syllabus does say it's 1 letter grade. It will be deducted for every day an assignment is late. There are no exceptions to this requirement. So again, don't turn things in late unless there's an issue that comes up. I don't expect you guys to do that. There's also 4 unit exams that we'll take throughout the 7-week course. These exams are over both the reading and both the lecture material. I'll let you know what you need to know from either section depending on when the exam happens. So sometimes it will be just lecture, sometimes it will be just reading, or it will be a mix of both. I'll give you a study guide the week before so that you can be studying and prepared for the exam each week. They're going to be difficult exams. I don't give out notes as far as a handout goes. I just do the lecture and you listen and you take notes. So what I would suggest is you have a notebook ready or your computer ready to take notes and take down what you think is important. I hope you'll get everything. I'll try my best to help. If you miss certain things and you want to email me about certain questions or certain things regarding the study guide, but I do encourage you to take notes, listen to the lecture, pay attention, things like that. And I promise you'll do well. There's discussion boards as well each week based upon the things you're reading, based upon things that you're watching in the lecture. I do want you to spend some time, and the discussion boards are worth 25% of your final grade, so large chunk goes to that, and they're not going to just be questions like what you feel or what do you think. I mean, it's going to be some research that you have to do for these discussion boards. So I do want to see you put some thought into that. We also have a preliminary bibliography that is due. This is a great project for you to get started on right away as you begin to find your research topic. You can jump into this preliminary bibliography that will help you toward your research project. So this, again, is a great way for you to get started on that. And so we want you to get started on that to help you. And it's an easy project to do. You only need at least 6 sources that will go toward your research project. All the details are in the syllabus there, but I just want to make you aware of that. And then there, number 4 on the requirements for this class, we ask that you write a précis about the book Escape from Reason. Please notice that the understanding of what a précis is, we're basically just looking for a description of the work's argument. So what is Francis Schaeffer arguing in the book Escape from Reason? I'm not looking for a summary. Please get that down. A lot of students that take this class will literally just write a summary of the work. I'm not asking for a summary of the contents. I'm asking for a summary of what Francis Schaeffer is arguing in this book. Okay, so make sure you get that down. It's an easy read. You could probably read that book in a day. I wouldn't suggest doing that. I'd probably take a week, try to read it, try to get down what he's trying to say, and then write a 1.5 page précis summary of what he's trying to argue in the work. And then lastly, you're going to write a research paper. Now, you'll notice if you got your syllabus in front of you, you'll notice that each student, the description here says each student will write a 8 to 14 page research paper reporting on the work of a key figure in the history of philosophy or theological thought. So what you're not doing is you're not taking a key figure in church history or philosophy and writing on that key figure. You're taking a work by the key figure or a document within theological thought. So for example, you could write on Martin Luther's commentary on Romans, and you take that commentary and you'd write on that, or you take Augustine's City of God, or Augustine's Confessions, or the Nicene Creed, or the Apostles' Creed. You take those different creeds and you write on that. Now, of course, if you write on Martin Luther's commentary on Romans, of course you'd have to mention some things about Martin Luther, but I'm not looking for the key figure per se, and the syllabus will analyze that. Now, I do accept both MLA and Turabian style. I prefer, again, Turabian style, so if you're going on to grad work, it'd be good just to learn it now and I'm expecting that you learn that well. If you use MLA, I'm not going to grade off for that, but I do personally prefer Turabian, and I think it's much easier as well. And if you're going to go into grad work, why not just learn it now? So anyway, that is kind of an introduction to the course. Make sure that you pay attention to the dates and what is due. Everything is due by 11:59 again, 11:59 p.m. on the Saturday of each week. So that gives you about, again, 7 days to kind of complete all the projects, and you'll be able to do that if you stay on top of that. Again, most of the lectures come from Mr. Moore. I appreciate him being willing to share these, and I really respect what he has done and the work that he has put into these things. And so at this point, what you're going to do is, if you have any questions about the class, if you have any questions about anything I've said, please let me know. I'll be glad to help you with that. I'll be glad to walk you through anything that you may have. But go ahead and read the syllabus, and then what you're going to do is watch an introduction video by Mr. Moore that will help you begin the class on the right foot. Thank you so much, and I look forward to what the Lord has in store for you and what the Lord has in store for us as a class. Let me take a second and let me pray for you as we begin History of Christian Thought. Father, I pray for these students. I pray, Lord, that you will give them the wisdom and the determination to finish well, that they will strive to honor you through their academic endeavors. And Lord, I pray that you will bless them in this class, and Lord, help them to work hard for your glory alone. I pray you bless them and give them the desire to learn, even when sometimes that desire may not be there. Thank you for this time. Thank you for these students. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this introduction video. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I look forward to talking to you soon.